typical setup. And again, as Jimmy said, it's about live streaming, but this setup, you don't need it to live stream with your kids. This just helps you control the content, what you're showing to the kids in the class and what you're showing to the kids at home, and separate the two so you don't distract the kids that you have in your classroom. So typical setup will be docking station, document camera, you have we're adding additional monitor, and you have your projector. So essentially you're operating 3 displays connected to your computer, and that's what's going to help you. The document camera connected to the projector, it can show the picture from the camera directly to the projector, or it can pass the picture from the computer to the projector, right? So that's where you're switching between camera and PC. So right now I have it set up that each display is the separate content, right? It's extended display on all 3. I can put different stuff on all 3 displays. This setup might work if you are teaching completely virtual class, right? You're operating with 3 separate canvases. You can put stuff on each one of them. But when you're teaching both kids in the class and kids at home, you don't want to show the Google Meet and images of the kids at home to your class to not distract them. So you want to keep that separate so the kids don't see it. But anything you present, you want to present to both groups, right? The kids in the class and the kids at home. So this is what we're gonna try and do. Right click on any place on your desktop and you go to display settings. I'm gonna move them to this screen so you can see them better. Right, so it shows us we have 3 displays, and they are set as extended display. This identify button, you hit it and it shows you the number, which display is which, right? So we know this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We're gonna use this to combine. What I wanna do, what I suggest you do, you duplicate, you mirror whatever's on your laptop screen to the projector. So that's gonna be the screen from which you present, and this is what the kid's gonna see in the class and the kid's gonna see at home. And normally you wouldn't be facing the display, so you wouldn't be able to operate the projector, see what's on the projector screen. Normally you either gonna be facing the class, right, or you're gonna be sitting sideways to the display. So this way, you're only looking at display on your laptop, and you're only looking at this additional monitor, but that one is, you know that anything on here is showing to your kids in class. To do that, we scroll down. So currently I have display 1 selected. This is the laptop, right? And I scroll down, and this in the multiple display section, I say I want to duplicate the desktop on 1 and 3. And now, as you can see, everything that's on here is on there, and the settings jumped. So I'm gonna bring them back here. Right? Now, to work with these displays, you saw I'm moving stuff from one to another, but you need to know like which direction to move things so that they appear on the other display. Right now, I have this laptop and I have a second display essentially on top of it, right? So what I can do, I can position this second display on top of my combination, apply it, and now I'm just moving in the exact direction of the display. That's it. This is set up, and we can start using other stuff. So, as I said, this is gonna be the screen that shows to students in class. Once I start my Meet, I don't want this screen showing to the kids in class. So what I want to do, I'm gonna grab this tab, I'm gonna pull it off of the window, and I'm gonna move it to my other display. And now this is what kids see in class, and I'm just monitoring the kids at home on this display. So now let's say I want to present this YouTube to all of my kids. So I choose present in the Google Meet. I choose the Chrome tab, YouTube, share, and I expand it, and I can play. Now my kids in class see it, my kids at home, the presentation plays for them as well. I'm gonna stop presenting.
Serhiy, before you move on from there, can you talk just for a second about the sound on all the different devices so that the kids at home hear it with no echo, the kids in class can hear it? Do you know what I mean?
This is one device. So the only device that uses the microphone and the only device that uses speakers. So if you don't have second device in the same room connected to the same Meet, you don't have issues with echo or loop that
so
feedback.
The smartboard speaker won't interfere
The smartboard
with the microphone and...
the smartboard speaker is the only speaker that's currently playing the sound.
Okay.
So it's like they're one unit and the one sound is captured.
But what you're saying for the kids at home, you might have to mute your, if you're playing music like that, you may have to mute yourself because that's when it echoes. That's what I found, that it echoes for the kids at home.
Like you have to mute yourself on the Meet.
Because they're hearing the music here and they're hearing the music through their computer.
So in the Meet tab on
your picture, you have to mute your microphone.
Unless you're talking.
laptop, right, but on my laptop.
Yeah, that's only really for music, the talking
Yeah,
is
only for
fine.
music.
The talking, because there's no like a double echo for the talking, it's just you. But
Yes,
if you're playing
even
like a visual
it-
learning
on the-
bridge video,
Exactly.
you
On the
mute
settings,
yourself while you play the visual learning bridge video,
Right.
so that they can hear the audio for the video and you're not hearing reverb.
Yes.
Yes, so yeah, the problem can be, you see, even in the audio settings for the Google Meet, it gives you the warning, you're using different devices for microphone and the speaker because the speaker is external and your microphone, so your computer cannot control the feedback. Because when you're using the microphone and the speaker from the same device, device has the capability of controlling the loopback. Its microphone will not pick up the sound from its own speaker. But if the speaker is external, the microphone might be picking up, and computer not always has the capacity to like bring down the feedback. So yes, in that case, if you're playing external speakers, you might want to have to turn off the microphone for that. If it causes the feedback, it's not always going to happen, but yes, you're
And
right.
like Lorna said, I have found that the most in the visual learning bridge. They can't hear, it's like echoing so much in the visual learning.
Now, going to the cameras, right? So right now in the Google Meet, I'm using this built-in camera so the kids can see me, right? This camera can work in two different ways. You can use either some third software to bring up the image from that camera on the computer, and then you can present that window to your class. So for that purpose, you can use the Sphere 2 software, that's the Aver software that comes with it. You can install it by looking for the software center on your computer, and then A+ suite, that's the suite of software for the Aver. And you can hit install. It's already installed on my machine, so I can only uninstall it, but it's gonna install and you don't need anyone's help for that. So
Katie has a question.
Yes, Sarah, can I ask you a quick question? When I try and use Sphere and my Google Meet, it'll say for my image, your camera's already being used.
yes.
Yeah.
Camera can only be used by one program
Okay.
at a time.
That makes sense.
So
Okay.
Meet has to be using this camera
Yes.
in order for you to use this camera with the Sphere 2.
Got it. Okay.
Because if the Meet is using that one, no other software will
and
use.
that's fine.
So
Just-
yes.
Okay.
So this is one way, right? So we have the image from this camera. Now I can present window, and I choose Sphere 2, and I choose share, and now the kids at home see this, and the kids in the class can see it. I can always open it up to the full screen and That's it. So when you're using Sphere 2 software, when you're putting the book under the image is always correctly displayed to both on your display and for kids at home. When you're using this as a web camera and you put the book under it, the image at home shows right, but the image on your display will be mirrored. So the kids in the class wouldn't be able to see the text on the book or read it. So that's one of the benefits to use the Sphere 2 and present it. But when you're presenting it to the kids, it adds additional processing need on the Chromebooks. So if you're presenting a lot of stuff and the kids complaining that the Chromebook slows down, it freezes, and that stuff, then you might reconsider using presenting. Also, to help with problems if your presentations cause issues on the Chromebooks, you can control the resolution of the picture that's playing from your camera. So by default, it's 1025 by 768, but if it's causing problems, you can switch to the lower resolution and it's less need on the Chromebook to process it all. Same thing goes with the YouTube. When you're presenting YouTube and it's causing issues, change the resolution of the YouTube image itself, and that might help.
So if you're having issues with, like, after you connect, and sometimes it's your computer's connection, you can write an IT ticket and have help on those technical issues, okay?
Okay, so now I'm gonna close the Sphere and we're gonna look at the options of using camera directly in the Meet. So we're going to the settings and we're going into video settings, and here right now I have it, oh wait, sorry, let me move it to the screen that you can see. Here you can see we can choose from two cameras, integrated and AVER. So I switch to AVER, now I'm seeing what's here, right? Send resolution and receive resolution. For you, it might not be that important, but for the kids at home, if they're having issues with the Chromebooks, they can go here and do the receive resolution to standard definition, and they can even choose the send resolution to standard definition. It can help with that.
But they would have to change that.
Yes, they would have to change that. And audio, same thing about the audio. This camera has the built-in microphone. When you plug it into your computer might choose that microphone and that camera as the default microphone and default camera for the computer. Google Meet has the separate settings, so you can switch it in the Google Meet specifically, where other programs using something else, but Google Meet.
What is the microphone for the AVER document camera called?
There you go. It's USB audio capture, AVER USB audio.
But it looks like there's 3 of them?
Well, there is a default, which is what Windows is currently using, right?
Okay.
And then there is specifically USB, which is the same thing.
Okay.
It just, if you switch to default and Windows microphone default changes, then Meet is using the same thing as Windows. But if you're choosing this USB audio capture, doesn't matter what Windows changes, the Meet will always be looking for that microphone. So that might, if you changed it in the Meet and all of a sudden next day they can't hear you, you might have to come here and change it back to something else, because maybe your computer currently is not connected to that camera, but Meet is still looking for that microphone and no one can hear you.
Okay.
So this
We have 1 more minute.
built-in microphone picks up sound a little better. You can be a little farther away. You will have to experiment how far away it picks up and how well it picks up. But just, you have to know that if you're having issues with the sound, they cannot hear you, you come here and check which microphone you're using. And once you switch the microphone, you see this symbol? For some reason, it's not moving, so that means it's not picking up that microphone. So we know, yeah, there is an issue. It's not.
So Serhiy,
So-
people are going to have to go, so I just want to say two things. One, thank you for coming to do this setup. Two, people, this is something that I know, I mean, I saw this, that this is the second time seeing it, and I still have like loads of questions. So I know you have to see this a lot of times and play
It's a
around with it.
hands, yeah, play
Let
around.
me know. I know Beth's already reached out to me to ask for Andrew to come to her room to do a walkthrough. Let me know. We can make appointments to do that.
And come sit in my class.
Thank you, everybody.
Because Katie's
Next
using
week.
it.